Hello fish family and fellow fish hobbyists, thank you for clicking on this video. Well, sadly this is the last update on my Discus tank. I have a 40-gallon breeder tank and I have a Marineland hang on the back with a 200-watt heater and of course a sponge filter. And I have some plants just floating around because they came from my previous Planet tank. Why is this my last update? I am currently doing the voiceover as I'm editing the video, but I do not own these fish at all. As you guys could tell from just this video here, there are less discus than what I had before. I used to have 12 and I rehomed 6 of them and I was left with these 6 discus. Within a week or 2 weeks after I rehomed the first 6, that same person who purchased those came back and bought these. The funny thing was is when he was going to take the 12 of them, he was going to get a better deal. But he got the first 6 and then he decided he was going to get the other 6, and for me it was better, but he missed out of a deal. But now he has a fish. And I ended up rehoming my angelfish. I only kept about 2 Cory cats and all my assassin snails and my albino Bristol pleco. Reason I kept those is because I am thinking of doing a planted freshwater tank within a month or two. We'll see when that would happen. There's a lot of things are changing um, with my fish tanks, so you guys gotta stay tuned because there is going to be a lot of content, different type of content regarding this YouTube channel and all my fish tanks and fish. So now let's talk about why I decided to rehome the discus fish. As you guys know, discus are one of the most unique freshwater fish. Some people sometimes they mistake them being saltwater fish because of their color, their unique shape. They are beautiful, peaceful fish, but one thing they are lacking, and one thing I decided to rehome them was because they lack character to them. These fish tend to get really scared, and if you have them like in a planet tank with driftwood, they tend to hide when you go in front of the tank. I don't know if that's all discus, but my experience with these, that's what it was. I got these fish when they were small, and I grew them. Look how beautiful they are. Uh, the only one that got peppering was my red melon because when one of my tanks broke, I had to place them in a dark bin. And something I didn't know is when you place them in a dark bin or anything where there's a lot of black, they tend to stress and get that peppering on them. And that's what happened to my red melon. But besides him, all the other ones were clean, beautiful. They had beautiful shape. Their color was great, but I had to get them a new home. One thing I dislike about keeping discus is because if you want to grow your discus to be high quality and grow fast, you have to do a lot of water changes and feed them a lot. I was feeding my discus about 3 to 5 times a day, and I would do about 50% water changes um, twice a week. If I'll miss a water change, it will be once a week. But one thing I would always worry about the discus will be parasites and if them getting sick. Mine's never got sick, but when I follow the forums regarding discus, that's something people will talk about, that they tend to get sick, they get these worms, and I was like, I'm not trying to deal with that. I did purchase the potassium permanganate, which works really well. One of my high body discus was stressing at one point, and I dipped him in potassium permanganate, and he was cured within a couple of minutes. That thing works like magic. So that's probably the last time I will even use potassium permanganate. So like I said, for those who are new to this channel or those who are my subscribers, I am going to bring a lot of more content. One reason I've been lacking right now uploading videos is because a lot of things are going on with my fish tanks and fish, but there is going to be a lot of new content regarding my fish tanks, fish tank setups, and I have a lot of things coming, so just stay tuned. Like I said, I do not have these discus no more. That is why this will be my last update on my discus. They have their new home, but from what I received from these discus, that allowed me to actually purchase new things for my new setup, which I want to do. Right now, I'm taking my time deciding what type of things I am going to use for that setup. So probably I will upload a video pretty soon regarding a topic, what I need to do, what I need to buy, and to receive any type of comments or recommendations from you guys. That'll be pretty awesome. And it is going to be a freshwater planet tank. I do not know if I should just go dirty tank, just regular tank, regular sand, and do root taps, or get some of the aqua soils like Fluval Spectrum or Eco Complete. But that's for another video. Like, let's just talk a little bit more about the discus. One the things that I like, and I keep this what I dislike about the discus. One thing I couldn't keep them was, sadly, I can, but I don't want to have a big tank where I live right now, because this is not going to be my forever home. And I already dealt with that when I moved here, moving a big tank, and it's a big hustle, especially if I don't have a truck. And I thank all those people that were able to help me transferring all my fish. But I do not want to bother anybody again, because I know they have things to do. So I prefer to get smaller tanks, which are a decent big size, that I could keep different type of fish, plants, and corals, whatever type of setup that I'm doing. So that's what I'm striving now. I am going to keep discus in the future. I have a beautiful dream of what my discus tank is going to be. Is going to be the best discus tank there is ever going to be on YouTube, in my opinion. But that is going to require a lot of investment and time. But that is years from now. But anyhow, so like I said, that's one of the reasons I am rehoming. I rehome my discus, because of the time consumption that they require. They require a lot of attention, a lot of feeding, water changes, and let's be honest, keeping discus without any substrate or plants, it's not pleasing to the eye. It never caught my attention. I love the fish, how beautiful they are, but you do not want to look at a glass box with no substrate, no plants. Especially this tank never had light at all. um why would I buy light on this tank when there's nothing requires light that was here, not even the plants, because they are hardy. um that is what pulled me away from the discus. Now I'm going to be able to have a planet tank where I want. I'm a, I'm gonna be interesting in trimming down the plants, what plants I want to get, what type of fish I want to get, what type of substrate I want to get. You could keep discus in planet tanks, but it's a lot of work. I had them in a planet tank, and it was a lot of work, a lot of water changes. The water won't be crystal clear. Probably it could have been my fault, because my filtration isn't the best. I could have gone with the canister or with a sump, but I didn't. I went with a hang on the back filter, on which that could have been my fault as well. But this fish, we have to keep in mind, these fish were going to grow a lot bigger. Just look at the orange flora. It was about 6 inches already, as well as the red melon. So I at least needed an 80 gallon to 120 gallon tank, especially at that point when I had 120, when I had 12, sorry, when I had 12 discus. My angelfish, also I had to rehome him because he's already big, and that is something. When you guys get fish, just remember, um, how big are they gonna get, how long it's going to take for them to get as big. Also, let me know what you guys think about keeping discus, about discus fish. I know a lot of people love discus fish, but they just can't keep them. I know, what's his name, Dustin from YouTube, Dustin's Fish Tanks. I remember he made a video why he will never keep discus, and this is one of the reasons. And I was like, man, you're crazy. These fish are beautiful, but if it's really hard. I know people out there have videos of them on planet tanks, but they probably just have one tank. I have a lot of tanks, which that makes it a lot harder for me, and I don't want to be doing a lot of water changes. I've kept planet tanks before. When I did my dirty tank, I would take a month, 2 months without doing water changes. I'll just do on top offs, and that's why I want to strive now keep beautiful tanks where I don't have to work as much I had to do with these discus. And one thing you're doing, you're wasting water, electricity as well, because these fish require a higher Fahrenheit. I think I had them at 86 Fahrenheit for their temperature. Now I plan to think I'll keep it to between 75 to 78, depending what fish I'm gonna have. Plants tend to like cooler waters, but not that cold because they will die as well. Now I'm not going to be able to use my sponge filter on my new system either. It is going to be a beautiful system, so I am taking my time, so stay tuned. Like I said, sadly I am going to miss these fish, but I need to make time for my personal life, and I want to keep my fish, be in the hobby, but I don't want it to steal time from my personal life. Let me know what you guys would do if you guys were in my situation. Let me know if you guys even keep discus, or if you have kept discus before. Let me know if you still keep them, or if you did before, why did you stop keeping this fish? So I hope this video was you were able to understand my point across this video, um, on why I decided to stop keeping discus, the reason for it, the good, the bad, and the ugly of discus. You know, it's sad if you lose a fish, especially if a fish is worth $85, $90, like some of my fish here are. Imagine if you lose a fish that costs that much money. You'll be upset because that money could have been invested in something else. Now you could keep more other fish which are as beautiful, that'll give you the same color. I know, like African peacocks, you know, cardinals, neon tetras. I know there's a lot of other fish which cost less money, even $5 to $10, which will give you even better character, personality than these fish. And I tend to like more aggressive fish. Fish will be swimming up and down and won't be scared when you go to in front of the tank to feed them. And you want to have a fish when people come visit your house to swim around and not hide, so that way they could catch the person's attention and you could get compliments. So I'm going to end the video now. I thank you guys for watching, taking your time. If you watched the whole video, this is the reason why I bring home my discus. Till then, I am out.